going to go down the line here. We're going to start with Denzel, and it's OVC Media Day. And with that, obviously that means the 2015 season is right upon us. So kind of tell us about your excitement of, obviously going through everything through the summer workouts. Now it's right in front of you. Kind of talk about the excitement of what you expect.
Well, it's very exciting because, this is a time when you build chemistry, team bonding, and whatever, and get to see the guys again from, the off-season training or whatever. So it's very, exciting to see how we come together in camp.
And Joe, it's kind of the same thing. What can you take out of what's been going on through the summer, and knowing that you only have a couple more weeks before you guys actually step into camp?
It goes back from what they would tell us during the season last year, that you start winning during your off season. We don't take those days for granted. We don't say, oh, it's the last couple of weeks, oh, let's go harder. We go in on the first day, this is when we get better. Our first day is like our last day. Just go hard until the end.
Now, Coach, during the summer, it's still busy for you because you're still doing recruiting, and as well as preparing to get your staff ready for the team to come in and kind of head in a new direction. Kind of talk about, does it get easier or does it get tougher at this time?
It really stays about the same. The biggest thing is keeping the guys involved in what's going on throughout the summer. With the limitations that you have with workouts and meetings and stuff like that, it can make things a little tedious, but we have more access to them now than we've ever had. So it's made things a lot easier this summer to be able to have guys at workouts and do things that you would like to do football-wise during the summer. So it has made things a little easier, but we have a good group of guys. A lot of things are done on a voluntary basis. These guys have gotten together. They do 7-on-7. They've worked against each other, one-on-one pass rush drills and things like that. So it's a lot of team bonding going on. There's a lot of things that the upperclassmen are doing and things that they're doing on their own, and that's exciting to see.
Now, Denzel, again, there's been a lot of talk about the fact that there have been 8 starters that basically lead the defense, 3 returners, but obviously there are a lot of other people who have contributed to the defense, throughout the last 2 seasons. What's it like to now all of a sudden kind of build on the leadership of doing some of the 7-on-7s during the summer and trying to get the young guys, kind of ready to go? And are they just now excited because it's their turn?
It's just kind of keep them to realize what's the importance. And, really hard work is going to get us back to our 10 or 4 season. They've been around for that. They just didn't have their time for it. So they're basically coming up now to where they're really hungry to, so that it won't be a major fall off and keep that
And Joe, on the offensive side, kind of talk about, last year, there was a lot of attack through the air in a sense, but obviously we're changing the quarterbacks. Obviously with Michael German-Gunn, and you have Ronald Butler, you have O'Shea Carter-Eckman. Kind of talk about the excitement of getting to work with them, as well as everybody else on offense trying to come back and make the team even better.
It's fun working with O'Shea and Butler because they both have a tremendous amount of abilities, and they kind of bring the best out of you that you never know. I remember one day we had 7-on-7. He came in and just said, "Joe, I'm going to throw you the ball. Just go make a play." And when he can have faith in you like that, and then he can have the ability to make the throw, really routine catch for me. But just seeing that ability from him, and before we go out on Saturdays, so when we get to Saturdays, it'll be like, oh yeah, let's do this. It's going to be just like practice. So it's fun to see those abilities come full circle for both O'Shea and Butler.
Now, Coach, about 3 to 4 years ago, you were kind of in the same situation that you are in now, where you weren't sure who was going to take over, and all of a sudden here comes this group of youngsters that have been a very strong defense for what has been the last 3 years now. And now, obviously, during that success, you've had an opportunity to go out and get some very nice recruits. So now it's their turn to come in. What's the excitement of it? now seeing them be able to take over and basically build kind of the same way you did over 3 years?
It's always exciting. A lot of people see it as a rebuilding or whatever the case may be. Hopefully, it's just a reloading period for us. We feel like we have great young talent. We feel like the chemistry on this team is really good. We feel like that our kids have grown, to really love being around each other, really being a part of a team. And that's always good to be able to see that kind of maturation, especially with the young football team. And you got a lot of guys sacrificing to be here and do things this summer, and we're really appreciative of them and the efforts that they've put forward this summer. But I'm really excited because I think this is a good group of young guys. We're a no-name defense, a no-name offense. We aren't real sexy, as I said earlier, but I think we got a lot of guys that can get the job done.
Now, this goes for both Denzel and Joe. The interesting thing is every team in here, they're getting up early and getting into the weight room. Every team's doing the workouts and conditions. Every team's probably doing the 7-on-7s and doing basically the same things you guys are. What separates you guys and what separates your team? What are the extra things that you're going to guys need to do and be willing to do, to keep Tennessee State football, as a rising power again?
Basically, one thing I can say as far as defensive wise, what I try to, pull the younger guys under my wings, like especially the defensive line. Seeing that I'm the oldest on the defensive line, I try to pull them apart and tell them, let's always do the extra without the coaches watching. Just don't do the bare minimum. That's how we're gonna stay on top. So that's what they've been living by this summer. So I had most of them stay up here for this whole summer just to give me one more. So that's what we're really living by.
Offensively, I say the biggest difference between us and other teams, or I don't really know about other teams, but for us as offense, you have to watch film. You have to understand your opponent. We watch film on ourselves because we know that most of the time our best defense that we're going to face throughout the year is facing throughout the week. And if we can go out and we can give them a run for their money, then we feel confident about our chances of any situation. So understanding the film and just playing together and playing hard.
Coach, what is that importance of, again, as Joey just mentioned, about the fact that, some of the best defense they're going to face all year is standing right across from, 5 days a week, and what advantages do you feel you have on that side, but even, the opposite?
We feel the same way as a team. I feel like offensively we're very talented. I feel like defensively talented, so when we go against each other in practice, it can be pretty intense at times. I mean, it is it's some good football being played, on Tuesday and Wednesday over at Tennessee State University. We have some physical practices. We always want to be known as a physical football team. And I think the work that they're putting in this summer, it's not just growing them athletically. It's growing them together. I mean, it's something to be said about a team that kind of stays together year round and kind of struggles to be here, and it's life skills. It's about survival. It's about believing in one another, and that's the kind of camaraderie we're going to have this season. We got to love on each other. We got to love that guy next to us in order for us to be successful, because we are so young, and these older guys got to show a tremendous amount of leadership in camp if we're going to be successful this season.
Now, Joe, when you guys compete in practice and stuff, and it's head-to-head, offense against defense, you guys feel slighted a little bit since the head coach is a defensive guy, and do you think it's a little bit tougher trying to do certain rules all of a sudden change now?
I don't think it changed. Because at the end of the day, he might be a defensive guy, but he's still the head coach of the football team, and he wants to see both sides win. But, I mean, offensively speaking, we know when we won, we know when we gave it to defense, because we say, oh, yeah, we're going to run today because we beat the defense. So if we run at the end of the day, we probably beat the defense. That's just our rule of saying that.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
Denzel, do you see it that way too?
Yes, but that doesn't happen often.
Oh. All right, that's great. Hey guys, one last thing. Let's talk John Merritt Classic. Okay, obviously a couple different things that go into it. One, obviously the honor of playing in the John Merritt Classic. Two, this is your last one, and then three, obviously you have Alabama State. And obviously a little bit of maybe a little payback action for last year and down at their place, but kind of talk about the importance of the John Merritt Classic and how do you prepare for it, and then talk a little bit about Alabama State as well.
Well, it's a big game every year that we look forward to at the beginning of the season. So I mean, it's really the way we starting our season off. So we really got to be really ready to rock and roll for that first game. And just being a classic, just makes it even much better. So yeah. So Alabama State, I'm just ready to play them. So I really don't have too much to say.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the name of John A. Merritt, I mean, it's one of the other people that came through and left a great impact and added a lot of tradition to the school. I mean, the school's address is John A. Merritt Boulevard. So I mean, namesake, just playing in that game, it means a lot. I mean, it's tradition. And like Denzel said, is our first game every year. The first game is going to be at home. And this is how you start your season. This is the first thing that everyone's going to see on you. So you like to make a great impact in that game and leave a lot of great things on field for other teams to see. And I mean, our upcoming opponent, Alabama State, anybody that beats us a year before or 2 weeks or whenever we get a chance to play them again, I think this whole group takes it kind of personal because, I mean, as anybody, you feel like you're the best. And I mean, if you get beat, you want a chance to get your redemption, or you want your chance to, rewrite your wrong. So I'm excited that we get to play them again in the first game of the year.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the last two HBCU schools that we've lost to, Brian Jenkins has been coaching them. It was Bethune-Cookman and Alabama State. He's coaching them this year. So, we got to work cut out for us. And I know that he's down there getting that team ready. And we've got a big press conference coming up this week, I think on the 24th maybe, about the John Merritt Classic. But, like these guys said, when you mention John Merritt, that's just greatness in itself. And as a coach, you're never going to be able to fill those shoes. You're never going to be able to be as big as a legend. You just want to try to come close. And I think that our guys understand the magnitude of that game and the significance of that game. And me as a coach, I understand it, the heritage and the legacy that goes into that game. So we're going to be ready to play, and that's the most important game on our schedule. And it's the most important on our game, most important game because it's the next one we play. Had we been playing anybody else, that would have been the next most important game on our schedule. But Alabama State right now is the most important game on our schedule. Then after that, Jackson State will be the most important game on our schedule. We take them one at a time. We talk about that all the time. Our motto is win one, and it will always be that as long as I'm here, is win one. You play them one at a time. You start looking ahead, you start looking behind, bad things happen to you. So we're focused on Alabama State, and that's what we're gearing up for.